Hi everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness, and today I wanted to give you 3 reasons that you should stop planking. What? Plank is like the #1 exercise, right? Outside of burpees and power lifts these days. I mean, it's like one of the main exercises. So why on earth are we talking about this? Why would we want to stop doing something that's supposedly so good for us? Well, what exactly is your plank first? It can be on your knees or on your toes. It can be on your forearms or your hands, depending on what position you're in, what level of fitness you're at. And basically just where you hold a long locked plank form, just a long locked body throughout that form, and really engage that core. And so it's a great core exercise. So you're gonna feel like I'm kind of contraindicating what we're talking about here, but it can be a great core exercise. Remember real quick that core is not just your abdominal muscles, so it's not just your abs in front, but it actually wraps all the way around, and technically your core is everything without your arms, legs, and head. So your torso, front, back, sides, it's included in all of it. And planking is great for that. But we've kind of gotten a little carried away with planking lately. So can planks be helpful? Yes. When you're first starting out and you're starting to learn how to control your core, they are very beneficial if you follow some of the things that we're going to talk about today. But once you get to where you're doing them on a regular basis, you'll find that they're not quite as helpful as they once were, because at that point we should be looking into other options. So let's talk first about the fact that a plank provides static strength. A plank is not functional movement or functional exercise. So what that means is that how often during your day do you go up and just push against a wall and hold it? Right? Not very often. So, or at least I hope not, unless you have a wall falling down. So, functional training is where we adopt or develop exercises which allow individuals to perform activities of daily life more easily and without injury. So, if pushing a wall is not in your daily life, doing a plank is not functional. It's not helping you. Now, again, it can help you to build the foundation of core strength to start to understand how to utilize your core and then move forward, but that static strength alone will not provide you with the core strength needed to do all of your daily activities. So it's kind of the starting of something great, but we sometimes get stuck at that start, don't we? We don't continue moving forward. So #2 is that we lack proper form to get the most out of our planks. So have you ever noticed, be honest, that you've got your tennis shoes on and you go and hold a plank and you don't feel a thing in your stomach, right? You feel like your feet are really strong in the ground. You feel like your arms are about to give way, but your stomach feels nothing. It's because we're putting all the weight into our hands and feet rather than into our core. So as we do our plank, we really want to be sure to engage inward. So it's almost like you were on a yoga mat and you were going to squish that mat up to the middle without actually moving your hands or feet or your knees, whichever you're on. But you're pretending like you're going to pull into the middle, so you create a contraction inward to contract the core more, front, back, and sides. So everything starts to work a little bit more. You're going to get your lats, you're going to get your chest, you're going to get your stomach, you're going to get some back muscles. Everything's going to be working together. So what that is intentional focus, and that should be present in any exercise that you're doing. So if you're doing an exercise of just going through the motions, cardio machines ring a bell for anybody, or squats to presses or anything like that, if you're just going through the motions, you're really only getting about 5% of the benefit out of that exercise. But when you draw intentional focus into your practice of whatever you're doing exercise-wise, you start to increase that ability to get more out of the exercise because you're actually utilizing the muscles the way that they're supposed to be for these exercises. So first of all, we want to make sure that we start to kind of change our focus here. So we understand that planks give us static strength. We understand that they give us the opportunity to not use proper form, especially if we're doing them with our shoes on. I love having people do planks on a slick surface with like socks on, and teaching them how to engage so that they actually pull their feet inward rather than outward, and it makes a huge difference. And I hear a lot of I can'ts in the beginning, but then we get through that and they figure out, oh, but we can. So the third part is that planks do not challenge your plateau. So if you've ever tried to lose weight, gain muscle, get better at an exercise, feel more fit, and you've hit that plateau where you feel like nothing's happening, that's what I'm talking about here. So you have not challenged the plateau as you continue to do planks week after week, month after month. So what do we need to do to fix this? Well, really, for each of those 3 things, we have 3 answers for you. Go figure. So on the first one with the static strength, where you're pushing that wall and you're not really getting functional movement, start to move. Maybe in your plank, you're starting to hold on your forearms and you pick up a weight and move it across. Maybe you're holding on your forearms and you press up onto your hands and back down onto your forearms. Maybe you rock forward and back, or you lift an arm to the side. There's about a million ways that you can change a plank, but you start to add movement to it, it's going to start to use the muscles differently. Now you're still pressing the floor away, yes, but you're starting to learn how to use movement with control in a static strength position. So we start to understand then as we're standing and we hold our core, remember, front, back, and sides in nice and tight. We're engaged through that core, and then we're expected to move, whether it's walk, dodge a ball, jump off a curb, dodge a car, grab a kid, whatever it may be. We learn to move with that static strength held in. So that starts to be your benefit. So we start to move, we start to change things. Number two is kind of what we already talked about. Instead of lacking that proper form, we start to bring intentional focus into our form, start to really engage and use the muscles in the right way so that whatever we're doing is beneficial. And if it is just a plain basic plank, we're getting the most out of that plain basic plank. Okay, so the third one is challenging that plateau, and it kind of goes along with the movement idea in variety. If you pick a movement exercise, say that you're doing that arm lift to the side in your plank, and you never change it, your body's going to get used to that too, and it's going to plateau. So the key with plateaus is knowing that your body physiologically adapts to exercises at about the 4 to 6 week point. So people ask all the time when they come in, they say, well, how long do I have to do this? Couldn't I just get the workouts and then go and do them on my own for a few years, then come back, or a few months or whatever? And we have to explain this to them, and sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't, but the ones who have been with us, they start to understand that every 4 weeks we change things for a reason, because your body will physiologically adapt to what you're doing and it will stop changing externally. So we want to make sure that those changes continue. That means that if you are adding planks or whatever exercise into your routine, you want to make sure that you add some variety. It's constantly changing. Now, it doesn't have to be different every single day. As you said, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks to actually start to plateau. And so at that point, you know, around the 4 to 5 week mark, you definitely want to have some changes in mind. You could change it, you know, every week if you wanted to, but we know that research shows that about every 4 to 6 weeks is the sweet spot for changing your workouts and making sure that you've got something challenging to push you ahead. So those are kind of my reasons today that you should stop this whole insanity of just continuous planking. I mean, have you heard about these world record people who can hold planks for hours upon hours? And, you know, what's the point? After so long, you just need to give it up and do something else. So if you get really good and you know that you've gotten to that point whenever you can hold a plank for about 2 minutes solid, no breaks. So if you're doing a test out, 2 minutes would be about your max. And then at that point, you need to add some things in. So I hope that gives you a little bit of guidance for today. If you would like help with your exercise selection, changing up your workouts, anything like that, we'd be happy to help you out. Feel free to give us a call, 806-322-3188. And please remember that we are starting Downsize, our 6-week body transformation challenge, where you will get plenty of variety in exercise, as well as nutrition, recipes, accountability, you name it, you're going to have it. We want you to come and join us for that. So we take 20 people on for Downsize. Again, it starts June 4th. We're taking registrations through the end of this month. So be sure to get those in before the end of the month, and we would love to talk with you more about that. If you'd like more information or an application for that, feel free to comment below, I'm in, and we'll be happy to get on the phone with you and see if our program is the right fit for you. We'll talk to you soon.